I'm Stephanie. Welcome to Fiction Files. This is the playlist where I talk about all things writing, and today I'm talking about writing romance. I'll be honest, romance is not my top pick for a go-to genre when I'm going to read. I do like romances as subplots, though. But I won't not read a book simply because it's a romance. It's good to expand my horizons when it comes to what I read, so I'm not only reading thrillers and mysteries. Plus, my anniversary is coming up, so I'm in a romantic mood and thought it would be fun to talk about romance writing. Whether it's the main focus of your story or a subplot, here are 7 tips for crafting stronger romances in fiction. Number 1. Use a relatable hero and heroine. Or hero and hero, or heroine and heroine. Whatever works for your story. But your main characters or love interests need to be relatable and well developed. They need to be human. As humans, most of us want connections with other humans. We can understand this, so make sure that motivation is obvious with your main characters. Readers need to believe that these characters are real and that they would be drawn to each other. Not only do we need to see the story arc of how they got together, they each also have to have their own story arcs. What are they as individuals trying to achieve? Why do their stories intersect? And why do they end up together? Use the GMC, or goal, motivation, and conflict structure to help build their individual character arcs, as well as the arc that they have together. What goals do they both have? What motivates them to act? And what drives conflict in getting them together or overcoming their own flaws? Number 2, focus on the structure. We've heard it before. Boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl. But we've heard it before because it's a classic structure for romances to follow. It wouldn't be engaging if it was boy meets girl, the end. We want to see these characters overcome obstacles. It's the classic will they, won't they question. Ron and Hermione, Pam and Jim, Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy. We know they belong together, and we want to see it happen. Another outlining or plotting method to use when crafting a romance is the meet cute, the building of romantic tension, the couple gets together, yay! The couple uncouples, to borrow a phrase from pop culture, and then we get our happily ever after. Number 3, determine your tropes. There are many tropes that are welcomed in romance stories. We've got the enemies to lovers, the grumpy ex-sunshine, forbidden love a la Romeo and Juliet, friends to lovers, second chance romance, fake relationships, forced proximity, and love triangles, among others. If your story is a full-on romance, embrace some of these tropes. As romance readers, look for specific tropes they know they enjoy. Number 4, show, don't tell. This is classic writing advice, whether you're writing a romance or a thriller or just plain fiction. Readers like to use their imagination. Readers like to see the world and the characters in their heads. Bring everything in your story to life by showing us, not just telling us what's going on. But for romance, this also applies to showing us their chemistry, not just telling us these characters like each other and stuff. Show us. Does the hero get fidgety and babbles a lot around the love interest? Does the heroine dress more provocatively around the love interest to catch their attention? Do they have prolonged eye contact and inch closer to each other with their hands barely touching? Paint us these pictures. Demonstrate the chemistry these two have. Alright, now we're going to talk about intimacy, so clutch your pearls. As an author, you have a choice when it comes to intimate scenes, if you want to show instead of tell. Some romances are clean and fade to black when it's time to jump in the sack. Others are spicy and bring the reader into the bedroom with the main characters. Neither is a wrong choice. It's more about your comfort level. If you're not comfortable writing these types of scenes, it will show and it will be a challenge to read. If you do show these scenes, make sure intimate scenes aren't there just to be there. These scenes still need to advance the plot or show character development. Are they both letting their guard down by letting the other person in? Have they been hurt in the past by another partner and are actively choosing to take the risk of love again? These scenes can be fun to write, but they still need to have purpose. Number 5, dialogue matters. This kind of ties into the points above, such as choosing your tropes and show, don't tell. If you're writing enemies to lovers, the dialogue is going to feel very different and sharp and witty compared to a second chance romance, where the characters will be more guarded when speaking to each other. The conversations these characters will have hold a lot of weight to the story to reveal characterization and to move the story forward, and again, demonstrate why these two are a match. Use dialogue wisely and often when building your romance. Also make sure to focus on subtext. What are these characters saying out loud, but what do they really mean? Number 6, determine your setting. Your setting and time period will have a huge impact on a romance story. You can't have someone behave in a 21st century way in a Regency romance. Imagine if a character from Red, White, and Royal Blue popped into Pride and Prejudice. It wouldn't make sense. Societal and cultural norms will play a big role in a romance story, and it will also impact the tropes you choose to use in your novel. Also think about how the setting itself can impact scenes. Setting your story in London? The lovers should meet up at pubs, have a chance encounter on the tube, or have a romantic declaration in the rain. The characters won't have the same scenes if you set that same story in Los Angeles. Use your setting to inform where scenes can and should happen. And finally, number 7, the happily ever after. Romances end with happily ever afters. If they don't, they're tragedies. Romance readers want a happy ending. A good example of this is The Office, which I know is a comedy show and not a romance, but mostly everyone loves Pam and Jim. We loved watching them come together because they were perfect for each other. We loved their love. And in the later seasons, the writers threw a wrench in their relationship. Was it more realistic? Yeah, but people don't come to these kinds of things for realism. We want the escape. We want to see people win, and especially when it comes to love. We want the fairy tale. We want to be inspired by their love story. They will have to overcome obstacles during their story, but it has to have a happy ending. If you deprive readers of a happily ever after in a romance, you better go hide in a hole, as people will be coming after you with pitchforks. All right, that wraps up the 7 tips to writing romance. If you have other writing advice or tips and tricks on this topic, please feel free to share those in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for watching Fiction Files.